So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 methods, actually the top 3 methods to improve your chess. And these methods are used by pretty much everybody from novices to grandmasters in their professional chess career. And they work on every level. There's some differences to what you need to focus on and how you need to treat each of those methods. And to make things simpler, I'm just going to focus this on players whose rating is under 2200. Think of your favorite chess player. Now imagine that you're playing a game of chess, and this person is sitting right next to you. Not only that, but as you play your moves, they will tell you what they would have done in your place. How valuable would that be to you? This idea, learning from the top players, is the foundation of the next method. It is called Solitaire Chess, and the way it works is like this. You pick a game from your favorite chess player. You set up the board. Let's say you picked a game of Garry Kasparov against Vishy Anand, and let's say Kasparov played white. So what is going to happen is you're going to play alongside Kasparov, and you're going to go through every single decision in the game. So you've set up the board. Kasparov played white. It was his turn to start the game. What would you play? Make a decision, compare it to what Kasparov did. Play his move on the board, play Vishy's response on the board, and it's back to you again. Look at the position, make a decision, compare it to what Kasparov did, play his game, play the response. Rinse and repeat until the game is over. By the end of this game, what will happen is, 1, you would have played a full game of chess, which is a good practice. Number 2, which is more important, is that you would compare every single decision you had to make in the game to that of Garry Kasparov or your favorite chess player, whoever they are. When you do that, when you compare your decision to theirs, look and try to understand why is their move better. Sometimes you will see it right away. Sometimes it will take you several moves to see why their decision is better. Sometimes you won't be able to tell. That's why having annotated games is slightly better than having non-annotated games. But any game will do, really. So when you compare your moves or your decision to their decision, try to pay attention to why they made that decision. What is it in this position that makes their move better? And what can you do to spot those moves, to spot those decisions in your games in the future? This is an extremely valuable tool. Think about all of the areas that it will cover. It will go through the openings. You will see how your favorite grandmasters or world champions play in the openings. You will see how they develop their pieces. How are they positioned them? How do they transition from the openings to the middle games? How do they transition from middle games to end games? In the middle games, how do they play different flavors? How do they play 2 bishops? How do they play with open files? How do they defend? How they attack? All of that will come up during your analysis, and you will learn from the best. That's why this is one of the best methods to practice, to get better at chess. You will be learning, literally learning, from the best in the world. There are a lot of nuances to this method. If you like it, if you want to know more, there's a link to a more detailed video in the description. Make sure to watch it. Now let's move to the next method. One of the best ways to improve is to actually understand your weak areas and then fix them. And the best way to do that is by analyzing your own games. A lot of novice players ask me if there's any value in them going over their own games. They're basically saying, look, I'm not a chess player, I'm not a professional chess player, I'm not a chess master. What can I do looking at my own games? What will I know, or what will I find that I couldn't find during the game? Turns out a lot. Having a professional coach definitely helps. So having a coach is a good thing, but the main work still needs to come from you. And this main work you can do without the coach. All the coach can do is guide you through this process. Let me explain what you need to do when you're analyzing your games. First of all, as you go through your games, look at the following things. Did you make any obvious mistakes? And I don't mean like blundering. Everybody makes blunders. But any move that you look at it after the game and you would go, why on earth would I make it? It just looks terrible. If the answer is yes, you made those moves, and they're so obviously bad, then the next question is, why did you make it? And an even more important question is, what did you have to do during the game so that you didn't have so that you didn't make that mistake. It could be a variety of reasons. For example, maybe you didn't spend enough time looking at the move. Maybe you didn't pay attention to what your opponent did. A number of reasons. See if any of them happen consistently and if you need to fix them. And think about how to avoid these mistakes in the future. Look at the critical parts, critical moments in the game. How did you handle those? And a critical moment could be transition from the opening to the middle game, or from the middle game to the end game. And you change to the pawn structure, and you change to your plan. Do any of them present a challenge for you? Do any of them present a challenge for you consistently across multiple games? Or is it something new for this game? If it's new, if it's something that you didn't have a problem with before but you have now, what's the trigger? Is it the opponent? Is it the type of position? Is it a different opening, different middle game? What is it? And how do you fix that? How do you avoid that in the future? Are there moves, decisions that you had to make, any parts of the game that were particularly difficult for you? And are there any type of positions that consistently create these difficult challenges for you? And that could be an attacking position or a defending position, an end game, like a rook end game or a pawn end game, playing a particular type of positions, 2 bishops versus 2 knights versus 2 bishops. And look at those and see if they consistently give you problems. And if they do, any of those things give you problems, now you know. Now you know what your weaknesses are and how to fix them. If it's a rook end game that you need to fix, look up a few videos, open up a book. You know how to fix it now. Going through those games, and as you can see, most of the analysis is done by you, not by a coach. Going through those games will help you understand your game much, much better. Once you understand your mistakes, you can fix them. And once you fix them, you're ready to move to the next level. So this was the next method for improving your chess. Last method is something that you're probably tired of hearing about, and that is tactics. Tactics, tactics, tactics. I know everybody says that, and for a good reason. Tactics is the single most important way of improving your game if you're a beginner player. Think about this fact. Most games between beginner players will end after one of them misses a small combination that results in a checkmate or loses them a queen. And no amount of opening knowledge or middle game knowledge or end game knowledge, knowing how to play with 2 bishops against 2 knights or 2 knights against 2 bishops, no amount of that is going to help you with missing those tactics unless you practice. Think about the benefits that tactics gives you. Well, there's an obvious one, which is calculating lines. You will be simply saying you will be faster and better at calculating lines. Next one is pattern recognition. Chess is a game of pattern recognition. And the more patterns you have in your head as your muscle memory, the better off you are. The faster you'll be able to find those forks or pins or other combinations. Practicing lets you do it faster and better. The other two are somewhat related. Finding potential moves for yourself in any given position. When beginner players look at a position, they usually look at one move, maybe 2, but usually just one move. Whichever one comes to their mind first, they look at it, good or bad, they just make it. Solving puzzles, doing tactics, forces you to go and look at several moves to find multiple resources in your position. Similarly to that, but for your opponent. When you look at your move that you make, what are the defensive options for your opponent? Doing tactics forces you into the habit of constantly coming up with potential defensive moves and not just looking at 1 or 2. Those are some of the main benefits of doing tactics. There are others as well. All online chess platforms, Solitaire Chess, chess.com, they have a great section devoted to puzzles. Chess Tempo, for example, is just a site entirely dedicated to doing tactics. If you haven't seen it, check it out as well. A great resource. Other aspects of the training, like solitaire chess or game analysis, those areas become more and more important as you progress in your skill level. The need to do tactics will always be there. And not just to improve, but even to stay at your current level, you need to do tactics. If you stop doing tactics, you will stop improving. So there you have it, the top 3 practical ways to improve your game. Solitaire chess, game analysis, and tactics. If you're wondering how to split time between these 3, I would recommend the following. If your rating is below 1500, Solitaire Chess, chess.com, doesn't matter. Spend all your time on tactics. Don't even worry about the other things. Just do tactics. If your rating is between 1500 and 1900, I would say spend half of your time on doing tactics and the rest split between game analysis and solitaire chess. And if you're above 1900, I would say focus 30% of your time on tactics and the rest split between the other two. These are just suggestions. Feel free to experiment and see which one gives you more benefit. I mean, if you find that solitaire chess gives you more benefit, then definitely spend more time doing solitaire chess. The main thing is consistency. Small changes over time, they will add up and improve your game greatly. Finally, if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. If you have comments, leave them in the comment section. If you have a question, or if you want to discuss similar topics in real time, I stream on Twitch. Feel free to join the channel, hang out, and talk about chess.